graders, good to see you all. We're back to doing some math again this week. Hope you had a good day off yesterday. And by the way, when you hear the background noise behind me, you're gonna hear a piano playing. Someone is practicing the piano in the room next to me. So just ignore that. We'll have piano accompaniment to our math lesson, okay? We are all done with fractions, and most of you are saying, woohoo! But I actually like doing fractions. They've always made sense to me, so hopefully they were enjoyable for you to do them. But we're done. No more fractions for the whole year. So say goodbye to those. We're on to new things this week. We're actually working on division this week. And we've already done division. These are just bigger problems with 2 digits instead of just 1-digit divisors, okay? So that's gonna be the biggest difference. And we have 4 lessons on division this week, and then we go on to decimals, and then we have odds and ends to finish up the year. So that's what we've got left, okay? All right, for today, your lesson is not from the textbook. It is actually 2 worksheets. They should say Lesson 12.2. One is a reteaching one, it says down here in the corner, and the other says practice in the corner, okay? So, reteaching and practice, Lesson 12.2 is what we're working on. I sent you all of these worksheets in the mail, so you should have gotten them by yesterday on Monday. If you didn't get them, I have attached the PDF to the lesson here in Jupiter so that you can print it from there. But you should have gotten them in the mail. I sent you all of the rest of the worksheets we'll be using for the rest of the year, as far as I know, unless for some reason we need more practice on something or something. Other than that, you should have everything in that packet, okay? So these worksheets are in that packet. If not, print them off of the PDF that I've attached. All right. Today's lesson is one that actually you're pretty good at doing already. This is just with a little bit larger numbers. They say, if you look at the title, estimate quotients, okay? So we are going to be estimating some division. You don't have to actually do the real division problem. You're just finding compatible numbers and estimating what the answer will be, okay? So look at the paper that says reteaching. They give us an example problem that says 1,574 divided by 42, okay? Now that's a fairly long division problem to be working on, but let me tilt this a little bit so it's not making a glare. Hopefully you can see that better. I don't know. Okay, so what you want to do is find compatible numbers that will divide easily into each other. Remember, compatible means they get along well together. So one possibility they show here is we could round 42 to 40. And we think, well, what number is near 1,574 that 40 would go into? I think, what would 4 go into that's near 15? That's what I'm thinking in my head. And I know 4 goes into 16. So 40 would go nicely into 1,600. That's one set of numbers that are compatible, that are near those. They show a second set. You're actually going to have to find 2 sets of compatible numbers for quite a few of these problems. You could round your 40 up to 50, and 50, think what would 5 go into evenly that's close to 15? Well, you could leave it 15 and you could have 50 into 1,500. Do you see how those are 2 possibilities for actually finding compatible numbers, numbers that divide easily from one into another, that we could round from 1,574 divided by 42. We could do 40 into 1,600 or 50 into 1,500. And do you see how those would go in evenly? Okay, so on the reteaching page, you do not have to actually solve. You're just, it says write 2 pairs of compatible numbers for each. Oh, you do have to solve it, and then give 2 possible estimates. So you would write like this, 40 into 1,600 or 50 into 1,500. This one would be 40 goes into 1600. 4 goes into 16 4 times. It goes in 40 times because 4 times 4 would be 16 and then add the 2 zeros onto it. So the answer to that one's 40. This one here is 30 because 3 times 5 is 15 and those 2 zeros give us the other 2 zeros there. Okay? So let's do number 1 together on this page. They give us as possibilities, the actual problem rather, 3,367 divided by 48. Okay? So let me change colors here. We could round 48. What would be the closest tens number we could round that to? 50, right? So if we round that one to 50, what number near 33 would 5 go into? That's the question I asked myself. 5 would go into 30 evenly. So let's round this one to 3,000. Okay? So there's one possibility. You would write that on the first line. 50, you could write it like this, or you could write, trying to think, you could also write this. 3,000 divided by 50. You could write it either way. I don't care how you write it. Okay? And the answer to that would be, because we're going to say it would go in there 6 times. So the answer would be 60. Okay, so that's one estimate. All right, let's also see what else we could, there are a couple possibilities. We could round that down to 40. Let's do that. If we had 40 going into what? 4 would go into evenly into what number that's near 33? I'm thinking 32. Okay, 40 into 3,200. That's one possibility. So 4 goes into 32 8 times, so that would be 80. Do you see how the estimates, depending if you estimate up or down, your answer, your quotient is going to be a little bit different. That one's 60, that one's 80. Okay? In real life, when you do these and you're having to figure out how to estimate them to get the most accurate answer, you have to figure out what's the best estimate that's going to give me the closest answer. I usually try and I like this one better, the 50 into 3,000. You also could do 50 into 3,500. That's one other possibility because 3,367 could round up to 3,500. So that's another possible estimate. So you go 50 into 3,500, and that would give you 70 as your answer. So anyway, that's how you're going to do these. And all of these are estimates. That's on the reteaching page. Now turn to the practice page. On the practice page, the first 6 of them are the exact same thing. You're going to give 2 options for estimating, finding compatible numbers, and giving 2 answers with that, an answer for each one. And then for numbers 7 through 18, you don't have to, you're just going to estimate what the answer is. Okay, so I'm going to look at one of those. I'm going to erase this one here. Let's take a look on the practice page at number 7. The problem on the page says 175 divided by 18. Okay? Now, I'm going to think in my mind, I'm going to be thinking that this one, I'm going to round it to 20. Okay? And it's okay. If you want to write it on there, you can, but you don't have to. You can just be thinking it. 18 goes to 20, and I round 175 to 180. So I'm thinking, how many times does 2 go into 18? 2 goes into 18 9 times, okay? So, 9 times 20 is 180. It's not 90, it's just 9 because this is only 175. It's not the 1700 like those last ones we were doing, okay? So the answer for number 7, a good estimate is 9. And right there it is. That's what you need to have written down there for number 7. And that's how you're going to do each of those, 7 through 18. You're not actually going through and doing the actual division and getting the exact accurate answer. You're giving an estimate by using compatible numbers, okay? Numbers 19 through 22, say name the compatible numbers used to find the estimate. They give you the answer and say, what are the compatible numbers they use to get that? Okay, so that'll help you think a little. Mixed review at the bottom is extra credit if you want to do it. You do not have to do it. So you do not have to do 23 through 30. All of these worksheets that you're doing that have a mixed review at the bottom, those are always going to be for extra credit. Okay, so that is your assignment. Just lots of estimating, so it's actually pretty easy. Have fun doing it. We'll see you tomorrow. Bye.